Good morning or good afternoon. This is Rafed Fareed. My student number is 101-205-956. This is Comp 3122, assignment number 3. We're going to be working with the library pandas. So in question number 1, save your file path CSV into a variable name, which I do right here. Show the first 5 columns. Dot head takes care of that. Number 3 is give it column names or a header. As you can see, there's no real header, so what I did was make a variable, save the column header names that I wanted into an array. Pandas by default assumes the first line of your Excel, CSV or whatever file is the header, so you have to tell it header is equal to none. I'm going to give you the header names right here. So names is equal to column name, ID, range, value, as you can see right here, and now we have a header. Number 4 is not done. Number 5 is skip one row. Simply skip rows is equal to 1, skips one row. We start ID 20 instead of ID 10, so yes, we did a skip a row. What is the type? My DF is a data frame. Data frame means the whole file, CSV, whatever you want to call it. This is data frame. Show only the values, so my data.values. Just give me 1 second. Let me run these. It always gives me issues when I run it beforehand, so I have to run it while I explain this. It's better. Data frame, and then show all the values. My df.value right here, we show them. There's another way to show the value, which is use square bracket and write the column name right here. So what is the top of my value? It's a series. Series basically means one column. One column is one series. Number 9. Which method is better? Use the square brackets, because if there's any space and you use my df dot zip code, it's gonna assume it's 2 words, and it doesn't make any sense to Python, so it's gonna crush your code. So square brackets is the way to go. So as you can see, zip code and machine type both have space in them, so you can't use my df dot and then the name. Number 10, it's create a new column and give it the name of brand, so header. Combine or concatenate machine type with zip code. Machine type with zip code. This can be just done by mydf and then call the column, add it to the other column. To create a new column which is brand, you give it the name brand, and then you say it's gonna be filled with this data. Print it, as you can see, machine type MM, zip code VN, so it's concatenated now. Let me not forget to run these. Number 11, same thing, except this time we're going to multiply 2 values together. Those 2 values are range and value. We're doing the same exact thing. Give it a name, tell it what data to be it should be filled with, and then we get a new column. Simple. Show the this one we have to use these 5 inbuilt functions. My head, just head, describe with brackets and then describe without brackets. My shape tells you how many columns and rows there is, and then dtype tells you how many types data types there are. Not how many, but what type of data types we have. ID is object, range is float, value is float, so we only have 2 really, float and object. Now what's the difference between brackets and no brackets? Simply put, it's the best way I can describe it is pandas does some extra work for you and tells you, I'm gonna give you the count, mean, standard deviation of only the numbers, because standard deviation with strings doesn't make any sense, with objects doesn't make any sense. So it's telling you, okay, I'm gonna filter it and only give you the numbers, which makes sense. When you don't use it, it gives you everything. It gives you it's still gonna give you the standard deviation, count, everything, but it also shows the strings and objects, which doesn't make any sense. So, and also this one, it's like very messy. See, ID, range, this, and then brand and total is on a new line, so you have to match 1-to-1. So it's much better to use with brackets to make more sense and more readable. And now number 13, it's show everything instead of just the numbers. So even the strings, as you can see, brand only gives you the numbers. How can you get the strings? Well, you just use include equals all. This will get you the numbers, the strings with it as well, not just the numbers. And now number 14. So change one of the column names from ID to my ID. As you can see, it's been changed now. Do the same thing except make it permanent. In place equals true makes it a permanent change to your Excel file. So if you go to Excel, it's going to be changed from ID to my ID. Get all the column names. mydf.columns takes care of that. See, as you can see, permanent change, my ID, range, value, and everything. Number 17, change all the columns back to the way they should be. IDs back to ID instead of my ID. That's number 17. Okay. Number 18, replace all spaces with underscores. This has space and this has a space, so therefore it got replaced with underscores. Number 19. Yes. Drop two columns. This, we're going to drop the brand and total axis equal to 1 because 1 means column, and that's what we want to drop. Column brand, column total. In place true, of course, makes it permanent. Affects the actual CSV file. And now number 20, we want to drop rows number 3 and 5. Rows is 0. 0 going this way means 3. So as you can see, 2, 4, there's no 3, and then 4, 6, no 5. In place makes it true. Number 21, we want to ascend all, get all the values right here and make it in ascending order. Sometimes I'm not sure, but I have to run it again to get the values I want, and even then, see, now it works. It's going in ascended order, so sometimes I'm not sure if it's on my end or the actual collab, but I need to run it again for it to take effect. And now these are all ascended, lowest to highest. Now we're gonna do the same thing, except instead of showing only the value columns, we're gonna show everything with the values in ascending order. As you can see, it's lowest to highest. Now let me just make sure I'm reading this right. Sort the values here in ascending order, shown in the whole in place. So okay, now the only thing we added was in place, so now we made it true. Not true, but I mean permanent to the Excel file, CSV. Okay, and now number 24. We're gonna be working with two columns this time. One is gonna be ascending is true. One is gonna be ascending is equal to false, which makes it in descending order. One is ascending, one is descending. Number 25, we want to find values more than or equal to 250, less than or equal to 250. See, nothing is below 250 and nothing is higher than 350 for the range. Number 26 is, now we have to sort it. We're still finding numbers from 250 above or 350 and below, but now it's in ascending order, lowest to highest. Number 27, we're gonna be finding values that are 1 minute. Number 27, display only the ID and value column of these rows, and the range has to be between 250 and 350. So when we run it, the values, 1 second. Number, display only the ID and value columns of these rows of my DF that the range is between 250 and 350. I don't think values goes up that high, so I'm not sure why it's showing, but this is the result I got. Let's move on to number 28. This one, it's the same thing, except this time we want to say add machine type where the value is H. Is this true? Yes. So when ID 2610, value is 50.0, machine type is H. Now we're gonna do the same thing, except this time we're gonna be saying look for machine types that are H, R, or X. H, X, and then R. Only these three values we want to display it. Now in here, number 30, it says show everything that's a numerical only. So all I did was numerics is equal to in 1632. This is just an array, so I can put it in my inbuilt include. So my df.select d types, it's going to select all the types which are numerics. What is numerics? It's in 1632-64. So it says range and value are the only two numerics which include int or floats, and both of these are float 64. So that is all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.